Hello, fellow traders. Good morning. It is Saturday morning, August the 5th, and this is the weekly summary report for week number. Man, I'm not even sure what week number it is. I should have checked before I started. I think it's like 12, week 13, maybe something like that. Basically, if you're new to this channel, I started this channel to just journal, document my trading journey. I'm a new trader. I would consider myself a new trader and a learning trader. So I'm trying to document my learning process. I also stream for accountability reasons. It does help me be more disciplined and be more accountable when I'm streaming. But yeah, and it's been crazy the amount of support and the growth that I've experienced on this channel has been amazing. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you. Especially Thursday night's video that I put out. We'll go over that in a little bit here, but that's a pretty difficult video to do and a pretty difficult video to put out. And I've received nothing but love and support from you people in the comments and just in my chat, in the live trading. And it just really, I feel very grateful, very thankful for the community that I have and for everyone out there that supports me. I really do appreciate you guys, and it gives me the motivation to keep going. And not that stopping is never really considered and never really entered my mind. But let's just dive right. Actually, before we just dive in, I do want to point out. I think most people know this, but just wanted to point out right above me, 90% discount, 90% sale is going on right now with Apex. It is going on from now. I think it started Thursday night, and it's ending August 10th, which is next Thursday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So 90% sale, usually the best it will be. And it's a 90-80 sale, so you get 90% off the first month and then 80% off the following months. So a really good sale. And if you use my code, it does help the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Also, I'm getting a lot of questions about my code. I do have a custom code, Nutty80. It's basically just so you guys can remember it a lot better. But just because it's Nutty80 doesn't mean that you don't get the 90% discount. Basically, my code will always get you the best sale that Apex is currently running. So feel free to use that Nutty80 code, and I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, let's dive in. So this week was a pretty crazy week, and a lot of things changed. And everything changed because of what happened Thursday. And I don't want to spend a lot of time going over in detail what happened Thursday. Watch my video. You can find the video. I think most of you have seen it. But yeah, I had a complete mental breakdown. Completely reverted back to some terrible habits from my past. And all in all, we blew 11 accounts. 11 accounts gone. Now, as most of you are aware, we do have five evals were basically passed and just sitting on the sideline. So technically, you can see here, first thing we'll do is we will review our balances here. This account here is also, this was one of the 11 that was blown, this first one. So don't pay attention to that. But this, from here all the way down to here, is what is remaining of our funded accounts. Now these accounts from right here, here, and here. These are the 5 eval accounts that are going, basically I have the emails. I just need to, we will be converting those into funded accounts this weekend at some point. So Monday morning, those will be the funded accounts, but basically we have 14 funded accounts. And, basically when I went on my bender Thursday, I was just very determined that I'm going to get all my accounts above 50,000. And obviously there were a lot of casualties. So, it still wasn't really a good thing, but I guess if there is a silver lining, all of the remaining funded accounts, as you can see, are above the starting threshold of 50,000. We were in drawdown on almost, not quite all my accounts, but most of them. If you've been following along, it wasn't going well. We were making improvements. I felt like we were making improvements. And when we were only trading 2 accounts, I was making improvements. I was trading better. So, I do want to not throw out, how do they say it? Not throw out the baby with the bathwater. But I want to keep that in mind. There's definitely has been progress made. And in one day, I just kind of undid everything. And it was me just not being disciplined, just completely mental breakdown, not trading with stop losses, zero risk management, no strategy used. It was everything. I added to my losers. I thought I would never do that again. And I did. Added to my losers. And it was just ugly. Ugly. No way around it. So we kind of have a fresh start. That is kind of what I'm getting at. We are starting over, so to speak. We have a clean slate, or that's how I'm looking at it. Basically, what happened, we will learn from that and we won't forget it. We will use it as a learning opportunity. But going forward, we have a fresh, clean slate. And right now, I'm testing a different strategy. I was trading price action, and obviously with trading price action, the entries and exits are somewhat discretionary. What I mean by that is there's not just a set ABC kind of entry where it's very clearly defined on an entry. When you're just trading pure price action, your entries can and probably will be somewhat discretionary, at least for me. And it was okay to a sense. Like I said, when I was trading that strategy in the past month, I was making progress, but I saw some issues with it, and I think some of you pointed it out as well. It's just that discretionary, and I had a habit I noticed. When I would start, I would be very patient for most of the day. And then when I started trading, it just all my trades were in large groups. And I felt like part of it was I was always trying to, if I had a loser, I was trying to make that back almost right away. And what tends to happen is, once I entered, then all of a sudden you start to convince yourself that you see good entries, and you convince yourself, hey, this is a good entry, or this is a good entry. And it's more, your brain just trying to convince and you're just looking more for entries, where in the past, instead of continuing to be patient. So I don't know, like not having a discretionary or having a discretionary entry is something that I wanted to eliminate. And I had been back testing this strategy for probably a month. Just going back testing it, seeing if it, has potential. And, it does have potential. And I want to be very, very careful kind of laying out my strategy, because one of my fears is someone will see me use this strategy, and because it's way more, I guess, clearly defined. My entries are very clearly defined. And because of that, I'm almost a little bit afraid that people are going to try and duplicate this and it, not that I'm against someone. I just hate the thought of someone duplicating me or my trades and then losing, because you will lose. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. And that's why I will never be a teacher. I will never teach someone else how to trade. First of all, I don't feel like I'm qualified, at least not right now. But even if I would be consistently profitable, I don't know. I just have a hard time teaching other people, because I feel like each person is unique. Each person is different. What works for me will not work for you. So why should I try and teach this to other people? And let alone, you see it so much. You see it so much. And I don't want to say that I think it does help some people. But just knowing that it doesn't help everyone, I don't know. I just don't want to do it. So keep that in mind. When I show the strategy, please just look at it as what it is, and that is me testing it. This is we're a long way away from, basically seeing this strategy as viable. We're just testing it. So for the testing purposes, I did purchase a 150K account, which is this one right here. And that's what it is. We're just using it to test this strategy. We're importing all our trades into TRADEZELLA. We created a new account. So this is a fresh new account for the evaluation. We're just going to trade this. I'm not going to set a date on it, on how long we're going to trade it. We're just going to trade it in a live environment, because, one thing I found out Friday was the importance of trading your strategy. And I mean, it's important to back test, but it's also very important to trade it in a live environment. Because on Friday, I actually didn't get filled on 2 orders. The market, I use a sell to close on my entries. Did not get filled on 2 of my trades. That cost, both trades would have been really big winners and would have been close to $2,000 winners for both. So, stuff like that in a live environment, when you understand and realize, okay, I need to change something with my entries so that this does not happen. Okay, enough rambling. Let's dive right in to TRADEZELLA. And I kind of want to show you a little bit of TRADEZELLA. I use TRADEZELLA, have been using TRADEZELLA for probably 3-4 months. I really do like it. Gives you a lot of really good functions. And I really like it for tracking my trades. I'll kind of show you how I have set it up and how we're going to track our trades, and just kind of how I use TRADEZELLA. I'm not even quite sure I'm using it exactly how it's supposed to be used, but this is how I'm using it because it does what I want it to do. So let's just click on it. So you can see the first day we had a loss of $751. That's a little bit misleading. Again, we had 2 trades where we had the entries, everything, my entries, everything was clearly a trade. I entered the trade and then I just did not get filled. And the first trade would have been about a $1,300 winner. And the next trade would have been an $800 winner. So that's obviously not in here because we did not get filled. So I'm not going to put it in. It's one of those things where it is what it is. It kind of does skew the balance a little bit. But we did not take the trade. We tried. We just didn't get filled. But I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, so I'm just going to show a little bit how I track. Also, I'm trading 4 mini contracts on this. And basically, my first profit target is at 30 ticks for 3 contracts. And then we have 1 contract as a runner. Now, obviously, you can't see what I'm trading is support and resistance, my support and resistance zones. There's a lot more to it, but obviously the support and resistance zones don't show up on this chart, but I don't have my charts open, so I can't really show you what it looks like. tune in to the live stream and you'll see. Okay, so this was the trade. Now here, if we go to playbooks, this is how we are tracking this strategy. Basically, my entry criteria is my average true range, which ATR is at or below 20. Basically what that is, I just don't want to be trading when it's really volatile. That's all that we have, that we use that for in the opening, right when the market opens. Usually it's above 40 to 50 is the average true range. So just don't want to be trading when it's that volatile. It's way too volatile and too easy to get stopped out just in noise. And also the reason we do 20 is my stop is at 30. So the average true range, we want to have obviously below 30, but below 20, usually around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock is when the market kind of slows down enough to where, it's below 20 from what I've discovered. Now also I do want to mention a lot of people have commented of using ES instead of NQ. And that is something I'm considering. I am back testing it first just to see if I feel like it is even viable. And then if it is viable, because that obviously is moving slower, which would have some benefits with this strategy. So we are testing that and back testing first, just me off stream, kind of back testing it, just seeing if it's viable. If it's viable, then we might trade both ES and NQ and kind of track both of them. So I guess, stay tuned. So basically ATR at or below 20. And if that happened, it gets a check mark. If this wasn't the case, then it wouldn't be checked. And then I'll show you how it tracks that. Price enters a zone. So obviously price needs to enter a support and resistance zone. And then a trapped order is created when in the zone. So that's very important. So I have 4 entry rules. Very clear, very precise. And I've only been doing this one day, so I want to be careful with how much I like, I guess, give my opinion on it. But it is really nice to have a very clear set of entry rules where it takes out the kind of mind trash when you're struggling with confidence, maybe. And it's just, hey, I'm just going to follow my rules. That's the only thing I'm required to do. That is it. I do not need to predict the market. I just need to follow my rules. That's it. It kind of takes off a lot of the mental mind trash that I sometimes deal with. And then once these 3 happen, and then price re-enters the zone after a trapped order is triggered, and my entry is when the bar closes down. I'm using a footprint chart to enter, which has 8, kind of like a 8 tick bar. So once that bar closes down, when I'm looking for a short, that's my entry. If I'm looking for a long and it closes up, that's my entry. Okay, and then we have the exit criteria. Obviously, here, this was a losing trade, so it was stopped out all contracts, usually around 30 ticks. Or I also, if my runner gets stopped out, then that I would check that. So then the market condition, this is something that's very important to track, is the trade was going with the trend, trade was going counter trend. So that's something I want to test, and I want to just be tracking it, so we know, hey, most of the time, we have winning trades when we go with a trend. Now, in my back testing, I did not find that trading only with the trend was okay. Like some of the biggest trades, some of the largest trades that I had in back testing was going counter trend. It's kind of going against my core. It makes me nervous doing it, but we've had so many V-shaped reversals, and this is kind of a way that, it gives me an opportunity to participate in those V-shaped reversals. if the setup is there. Okay, we're going back. I'm not going to go over each trade. We're already at 20 minutes long, and I don't like to keep my videos longer than that. Let's just pick a winning trade. Obviously, you can see my losers, my winners. My winning trade here. So again, the way my plan is my first contract, I enter with 4, and my 30 ticks profit, I take off 3 contracts. That's kind of the primary trade. Once we hit that, then we kind of can't lose. We do not move or stop. So that's one thing. We don't move or stop on the runner. We do not move to break even. And I kind of wanted to show this trade. So right here was my entry on a long. We hit our initial 30 ticks profit, and we were up like 80 ticks right here. And then market would just, went against us. We were actually in drawdown, but my stop was below this at the 520s right here. So we kept our stop. We just followed our plan. And basically my profit target for my runner is wherever that next support and resistance zone is. So the next support and resistance zone I had was right here. And we hit that, and everything went well. But it kind of shows, it's just a matter of, I really have to tell myself, here you can see my running P&L. We took our first profit here, and then this was our P&L on our runner. And you can see, if I would have had my stop at break even, we would have gotten stopped out. And it's a little bit easier to do that with 4 contracts because you're taking profit with 3 of them at 30 ticks. So even if you get stopped out for 30 ticks on the runner, you're still net positive 2 contract, basically 60 ticks, which is very important for this, it's very important for this kind of strategy. So anyway, I just wanted to show kind of what I'm doing, what my plan is going forward. Again, I'm not going to put a time, date, end goal on this. We're just going to do this. I don't really plan on trading my funded accounts. Not really. We're not going to trade our funded accounts. I might take like 1 micro trade per week just so they don't sit stagnant. I don't think Apex has a rule against them just sitting there, but I don't know. I just don't like having them sitting there and not doing anything. But anyway. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate every one of you. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I have a tea time in about 1 hour. I'm going golfing. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. Take care, everybody. And God bless.